Name tags.
Make sure you pick up your name tags. They should be in, as we move forward, they should be in the appropriate box or bin, depending on the day that you were signed up to give a tour or greet. Okay? So if you realize that your name tag is missing, look through all the bins. If it's still missing, let one of us know. In fact, we will have a sign-in sheet. We have one. A sign-in sheet about who doesn't have a name tag. You can fill it out. We'll make sure you have a name tag before our first event. Sound good? So a lot of you guys will come to our office or send us emails saying that you want to meet with us. And we want to be able to accommodate you and also get the rest of our work done. So Sarah has the rundown of our office hours. So you might want to take out a pen so you guys know when we are going to be answering questions for you guys.
Yeah, so any kind of question that you have, and I know you can talk to us before your tour. Hey, how you doing? You know, all that. But if you have something that you'd want to get into, we had somebody who did it with us earlier a couple days ago. You know, sent an email, asked to meet with us. We said, yes, you can meet with us at X time to go over whatever it is you want to go over. So Stephanie's office, and you can come see any of us, whatever works best with your schedule. Stephanie is Wednesday from 9 to 10 a.m. Erin is Monday from 12:30 to 1:30. And I am Thursday from 3 to 4. If these times do not work with your schedule, and what we've done in the past is we'll put sign-up sheets on our door, like on the outside of the office door, so that if you're coming in for your tour throughout the week and you're like, hey, I know I want to meet, you can just sign up, so then we know ahead of time that we are going to have a meeting, excuse me, and we'll block them off in probably 15-minute increments. So, you know, we'd be able to accommodate 4 people over the course of each hour. You don't have to meet with all of us. You meet with whoever is going to fit in with your schedule best. If these times don't work, then email and we'll work with you to get you in during another time. We also may need to make adjustments. As Stephanie mentioned, our travel starts to pick up again. Generally, March is when we get to be increasingly busy with travel and being out on the road. So if we need to make changes for specific weeks or a large portion of time, we will email and let everyone know. But until you get a change, these would be the office hours, and you can just shoot us a quick email, and then we'll get you on and, you know, let us know what you need to talk about. Questions about that? Okay.
I was just going to say, in addition to the change in setup on the 3rd floor, there's also, if you may have noticed, been a change on the setup on the 1st floor. So where our reception desk used to be, well, it's still there, but it's just set up differently. There used to be 2 ladies, and now there are 3. So it's set up a little bit differently. Hopefully people will gravitate towards signing in the living room by the podium where the greeters are. We're trying to make it a little bit easier for families and visitors and let them get their work done. And so it's set up like more typical like reception desk. They have an L-shaped counter. So we have Carolyn, who is the first person that you would see on your left. Then Karen is on the angle, and then Lorraine is kind of right in front of you when you walk into that part. They are there all the time. There's always going to be at least 2 of them there. If they're the people that you can go to for things like somebody saying that there's no more coffee or there's no more coffee cups, they're responsible for making sure that that's stocked. If you need coupons for the bookstore, pens, or anything that's at that podium, they're appropriate people that you can go to. If a family comes to you with a question that you are not sure about, you can ask them. They can call up to us or any counselor that's there. But make sure that you want to use them appropriately as a resource, but they're not the people that you would ask if you say, oh, can I, you know, leave for my tour early or anything like that. They're not the right people for that. But they are there for some general questions and can kind of point you in the right direction. If a family says, oh, I have a meeting in financially and maybe you don't know exactly where that is, maybe they can get, you know, help direct you, make sure you're in the right direction. But just want to make sure that you know who they are. They're very friendly. They'll be happy to talk to you. but just want to make sure that you are aware of those changes, and like I said, let them know if there's anything in the living room, any kind of situation, they can help you out with that.
Were you gonna ask? Okay, so question time. What if a family comes up to you, greeters, so this is a greeter question. What if a family comes up to you and says, I wanted to come for a tour and there weren't any openings, so I just thought I would pop in. Can you add me to the tour? How do you handle that situation? So greeters. Yes. Oh, yeah, wait a second. Are you a greeter? Are you a greeter? Yeah.
I used to be a greeter.
I hear that. I hear a
Don't
tour
say you
guide.
are not a greeter. What about a greeter? Come on, greeters, you all greet. So what happens if that happens? Go ahead.
We're supposed to go over to the ladies' desk and tell them that they'll put that in the system and everything.
So yes, you are supposed to consult the ladies at the front desk, and then they will call one of us if we're in. So you, because we don't want you to feel the pressure of having to handle that, because sometimes families are belligerent, sometimes they're upset. So we don't want you to be dealing with that. You just say, if you want to have a seat, you can help yourself to tea and coffee, and I'll be right with you. You go get to reception, they'll consult us. We may not be able to accommodate them because of the size, or because of the number of tour guides we have, or because of the size of the group already. And in that case, they might be directed to a self-guided walking tour, but you won't have to deal with them. You'll just alert the front desk. However, part B to that question, what do you do, greeters, if somebody who was scheduled for an earlier tour comes in, they didn't make the earlier tour, and they say, I'm really sorry, I didn't make my 10 a.m. tour, but I really want to jump on this 2:30 tour. We just got here. What's the situation? How do you handle that? Greeters. Come on, greeters. We're not going to laugh if you get it wrong. It's a learning, the teaching moment. Teaching moment. That's not it. Who's brave enough? Greeters. There you go.
I do the same thing. You go over and tell them that someone is coming, they just live there. And see if they can come.
So that is a good guess. Say what? We would do the same thing. But what we will do is accommodate that family. If they were on the schedule for a tour that was earlier and they missed it, traffic, they overslept, whatever the reason is, we will accommodate them, okay? So you can find their name on the earlier tour, like let's say they're coming in at 2:30 and they were at a 10 o'clock tour, just flip back to the 10 o'clock sheet, check them off, and let them do that, because we want to service the families that did register. So that was a good guess. Nobody laughed, but yeah, yes.
What do they do if they're like really early for the tour? Like if they registered for 2:30 and come at 1?
Okay, if they're registered for a later, they come early, really early for their tour. So let's say they're registered for 2:30, but they come at 1 o'clock. Are they asking to be put on the 1 o'clock tour? So how would you guys handle that situation? So the family is signed up for 2:30, but they came at 1 and they want to get on that tour. Best guesses. We're gonna give somebody else a chance first. Go ahead. So you're saying you let them on the tour? Who thinks something different?
If there's enough space.
What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's you first see like how much room there is, and if there seems to be like a little bit too much room, you tell them to like, hey, you can go into town.
Sorry.
You can go into the town, explore the town, you can walk around the campus. Like if they're gonna go into like a science field, you can say you can drive down to South Campus, because that's not even on the tour anyway. So they can drive down to South, just explore the campus or town.
All good answers. So yes, you can check to see, because sometimes it's going to be that one tour guide. And if we've got 20 people coming and this is a group of 5 and now that's 25 people, it may be dicey. So you do want to consult and see how many people are registered. But you can also suggest maybe that they go into town or they go to Starbucks, or well, we have coffee in the office now, but you know, that they could do some other things while they're on campus. So again, in that instance, you can also consult, or you can let the receptionist know, and then they can call us so that we can make a final call, because that's something that we don't necessarily want you to have to make the decision on. But if those are good things that, you know, consult it. We want to try and accommodate our families, so maybe we can bring them in early. But if we can't, providing them with another list of options for things that they can do. Oh shoot, sorry. Sorry, that one went wrong. Okay, any questions about that? Okay. Yeah. Sure. All right. That might cost you though. Okay. But we're going to, how many of you are going to be around this summer? So you're not going home for jobs, or you're still thinking about looking for a summer job. Is anybody going to be around that's in the room? A couple of you maybe. So we wanted to present you guys with an opportunity, and we're going to have a sheet so that you can sign up if you are interested. You're not committing to anything. But one of the things that we approached our management about, who then approached her manager, her boss about, was the fact that we wanted to be able to provide a summer job opportunity for tour guides. Okay? And we proposed a budget that was a lot of money, and it was approved. So moving forward this year, we are going to be hiring people to be in the office. So this is going to be a commitment where you're able to make several thousand dollars, and you would be committing to like a 6-hour, you would work 6 hours every day. So we'd like to hire 2 of you, I believe it's 2 students, and we are looking to do some different kinds of tours where there would be 4 tours a day. However, we're looking to do some full tours, like 2 full tours and 2 just residence hall tours. So we're still working out exactly how that would work, and we're not going to disclose the amount of money that you could make or things like that.
But it's more than 2,000.
It's a lot of money. So we want to have people who are committed to this, who are committed to making this their only summer job, potentially. And so we'd like to find out who is interested, because we want to get that ball rolling, because it's something that you could be hired for by March or April. You know, we want to kind of nail these things down. So I don't know if you want to talk about any more specifics, but I don't know if there are any.
Go ahead, Steph.
The only thing about being a full-time worker in the office is that that is your full-time job.
Mhm.
And you are the only person, technically, that's going to be giving those tours. So it's very important that, and we'll be having an interview process. But it's very important that you're going to be a very reliable person all summer long. And so previously, I guess summer tours were set up where you guys got ramp bucks, and it was X amount of RAM bucks, and we load them onto your card and all of that. This is going to be going through payroll. This is going to be taxable income. But that taxable income is probably going to be more than what you would make at another job during the summer.
It's probably more than I made in 2 years of being an ambassador who works 10 hours a week when I was in
So unless you have a paid internship, which, I mean, that's a different ball game. But if you're just working at like Five Guys all summer, this position will be paying you more than that. Yes, doll.
So would it be from the end of May all the way until the beginning of the school year?
It's a good question.
Sure.
Once we get an idea of who is interested, we do want to have, our goal is to have 2 ambassadors that we can have all summer. However, we do recognize that some students might have a week where they're on vacation or with their family, or maybe they want to take a class in block 2. There's 3 blocks, right? Summer sessions. So we are open to the idea of being a little bit flexible to an extent with scheduling. However, we are not interested in kind of day-to-day, week-to-week, having a completely different schedule. We want to have a commitment of, basically we need to have 2 ambassadors committed for the entire summer. So every day we know that we're going to see 2 ambassadors. We don't want to have that spanning 12 different ambassadors throughout the summer on different days. As few as possible, so as big of a commitment time-wise as we can work. But because this is slightly uncharted territory and it's a new thing that we're exploring, when we made the proposition to our boss and then she took it above, we kind of didn't know exactly who we would get and who would be interested. So we had to leave some leeway and some flexibility until we see how it kind of irons out. So what will happen is we will collect your names if you think you might be interested in this. We will then figure out who we have and what kind of, we will probably have like an information session to talk a little bit more about details as they unfold. And then we will talk about interviewing, because if we have 10 people that are interested and we only need 2, then we need to figure out how to best do that. So it will be a process that unfolds over the next couple of weeks, but like Sarah said, we are hoping to have the positions hired for and accounted for shortly after spring break. So that's good for you guys as far as for your planning purposes as well.
And how many of you are second semester greeters? So you've greeted 2 semesters, and this is the semester you have to become a tour guide. So there are
you'd be
some
eligible
of
too.
Yep. So you, especially if you want to be considered for that, the quicker that you can become a tour guide, the better, because we are not going to hire you while you're a greeter. So if you could be amazing, and we'd want to have you work in our office, but if you're still a greeter, no dice. Okay? So you do need to be a tour guide at the time that now, if you're going to sign up today and say, I'm really interested in your greeter, that's fine. But when it comes time for the hiring process, you need to be a tour guide. And preferably that you've been touring for a couple of weeks. Okay?
You said it would start like right after school ended, or like,
Usually it's like there's a week in between.
because I know that like my lease doesn't start until June 1st, so like I really don't have anywhere to live from the first week of May until June. Like,
It's usually on the week before Memorial Day is when they start. So like that very last bit of May.
And there are days where we're going to be like we won't give tours. We won't give tours on Memorial Day. We usually don't give tours, well, obviously on July 4th, and usually the day before or after, depending on what day of the week July 4th falls on. So there will be days that
And we
we
go
won't
to
work.
and we also go to a
Conference
conference,
in
so there's
May.
like 2 days that we're not
There's only
even in the office, so there won't
6
be any
days in
tours.
May.
That type of stuff.
Yeah, so you would get those, but yeah, you guys usually your last tour is something this year like May 2nd or whatever that first Friday is in May. Then you have finals and everything that next week, so no tours that week. Then there's another week of no tours, and then tours start again.
And we'll give concrete dates at the information session. Any questions about the summer opportunity?
Can we pause and
Yes.
start a new video?